Gomez Heitzberg.
Aye.
Pamela Haynes.
Aye.
Harry Legrand.
Sure.
Bill
Yes.
Rawlings.
I'll abstain.
And you, Bill Rawlings?
Abstain.
Oh, okay, yes. Syrian Villavicencio.
Aye.
Okay, I'll say yes then.
Okay, I have Bill Rawlings vote as an aye. Syrian Villavicencio.
Enthusiastic aye.
Joseph Williams.
Yes.
Congratulations, the motion carries.
Congratulations to both of you. Looking forward to not being in this seat. Next up, we have 6.1, which is our public forum. Oh. Yeah, that'll be, well, you can do it during the public forum, I guess. So it's 6.1, public forum. Oh, 7.1, typo. Anybody can address the board, including members of the board, for any topic they wish at this point.
Public forum is now open. If you are calling in, press *9. You will have 2 minutes. I have a couple in-person comments here, so if you don't mind, I will go ahead and read the names. Larry Galicia and Cheryl Aschenbach.
I have to say, you actually always sit in those seats.
I'm to the left of Cheryl. Who would have thought? So.
I'll be your right-hand girl.
So, I don't know, do I say President Emerita Costa? Well, members of the board, Larry Galizio, President of the League, and this is mainly some gratitude I wanted to, on behalf of the League boards and also on my colleagues on the staff, I mean, I want to thank you, President Costa, for your public service and just the phenomenal work that you've done, and just thank you for your great work. I also want to congratulate President Aguinaldo and Vice President Rawlings. And also, I also want to recognize outgoing leaders, all Vice Chancellors, Paul Feast, Rena Finch, and Rebecca Ron O'Shaughnessy. Not only are they amazing at what they do and what they have done, they're just wonderful colleagues to work with. And so on behalf of, again, my colleagues at the League and the League boards, just want to thank them for all the great work that they've done over the years. And also, and I've heard nothing but positive comments from presidents and chancellors. No surprise at Chancellor Christian's decision to select Dr. Tolmenegg as Deputy Chancellor. We're extremely excited about that. She's been a member of the CEO board and an amazing leader statewide, so fantastic. And then also, Chris Ferguson is going to be an exceptional addition to the Chancellor's office. He's going to help everybody. It's going to help the students, going to help our advocacy. Just always been a pleasure to work with, so congratulations. Finally, I hope to see many of you at the League's annual convention this week, and which will include the Chancellor's State of the System. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Cheryl Aschenbach, President of the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges. And want to first, Amy, thank you for your service, or I should say President Costa or Emeritus. Really, thank you on behalf of our system. I know leadership is not easy, and we often get to make the difficult but right things, like having approving a degree for Feather River that had plenty of opposition from other segments. And you know, folks can point to that as why we still have friction. That friction would exist regardless, but it was the right decision to make at that moment, and it did help to launch the rest of our work in the short term, and ultimately it will in the long term as well. So thank you. Really appreciate that. And thank you also for always acknowledging the work of faculty, that it is meaningful to hear that and then to take that back out to the field and say, the board recognizes, and broadly, you all do that really well, recognizes the role that faculty play in our segment alongside our partners in the classified units and administrative units. So, but thank you, really. And Hildy, thank you. Congratulations. And President Aguinaldo, look forward to working with you in this new role and having a practitioner too as Vice President Bill, like very excited about that potential. You know what our students are experiencing, not just from the outside and the policy level, but the ground level every day. And so continued appreciation for the work that you all do at this level. I look forward to continuing work with you on behalf of the faculty. Want to acknowledge the 55 years of service of UOP&S to our students. We had spring plenary a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks, and the field delegates did pass a resolution by acclamation acknowledging and celebrating that work and the difference that it makes for students. So I want to publicly highlight that, and I'll bring some other pieces of our resolutions in the future, but gratitude in this moment, so thank you. And I forgot I was supposed to be speaking on behalf of Wendy Brill Wynkoop, president of the FAC, also as.
Thank you. With that, we will move on to virtual hands raised. So I will hand it over to my colleague, Gary.
We'll start with Ken Kuniyuki, and I believe you have someone else there with you. So Christine, if we could just set 2 consecutive 2-minute timers.
Thank you. Can do.
And you have control of your mic, Ken.
Hi, I'm Ken Kuniyuki, Assistant Chair of Math at San Diego Mesa College. I'm here with my student Vincent Williams. AB 1705 has been used to eliminate math classes beyond the text of the law. The law permits a couple of math courses below calculus, and if they weren't validated, we say so. Fine. But the state challenger's office is eliminating these courses. That's not what the law says. Legislators like Muratsuchi, I talked to him, they didn't want this. I have a graduate degree in statistics from Stanford, and I'm telling you folks, the RP Group's data on 1705 is garbage. The February study was used to invalidate and eliminate our pre-calculus classes. It used a student cohort whose average age was, get this, 21.0, 21. It should be 26. Ridiculous. You must reject this study. What happened was that they threw out veterans and others who, for example, forgot their high school GPA on CCC Apply, thrown out. Students who gave up before census, thrown out. And the students they say successfully accelerated through calculus, many took pre-calculus or calculus elsewhere, and they were miscategorized. I know faculty statewide. I've met them. These magical new accelerated classes for 1705, many can't cover the subject matter. They're substandard. There's pressure. Just pass the students. The data is garbage. Throughput, they're not the same class. Even though faculty valiantly try to teach students multiple levels they've never seen before. Our transfer students are going in underprepared and failing. They should do great. We're so proud of them. Faculty and students are in tears. 3/4 of our students are part-time. If you're part-time, 10 years after high school, could you survive 8 hours in class a week of calculus with all of K-12 crammed in? No algebra tutors anymore. Do you have time and money for private tutors? The CSUs and UCs are offering more of the classes that we're losing, and their students are flooding into them because they need them. A bunch of them are testing at the 5th grade level, but so do ours. Deny them a choice? Is that equity? The idea they can't choose? That's insulting. Last week, we honored our veterans. Don't betray them by taking away the very classes they need to succeed. They're not all 21. Please retract the 1705 guidance memos. I urge you, avert the disaster now. Thank you very much. I'll yield to Vincent.
Good evening, board. My name is Vincent Williams. I am a disabled veteran, and I'm here with my lab partner, Sigrid, but I think the VA classifies her as my service dog. But nonetheless, to the point, since 1776, veterans like myself have fought for this country in the name of, not to sound too cliche, but freedom, peace, democracy, choice. In return, at least I assume, most of us don't ask for much. And lawmakers, for the most part, I believe you all and everyone else have recognized this and passed various laws in support of veterans. For example, the complete overhaul of the Department of Veteran Affairs, streamlining the entire veteran benefit processes for veterans and their families. And then, of course, in the 90s, congressionally mandating providing civilian transition assistance to veterans. Though some would argue that our leaders have dragged their feet. I mean, we've been fighting for this country for 200 years. But nonetheless, we're headed in the right directions. Or are we? Well, active duty, I knew I wanted to go back to school and eventually become a physician. But I also wanted to be realistic, and it was almost 2 decades since I've been exposed to anything academic. 2 decades, 20 years. So I did what I figured any normal person would do. I took a math refresher course at San Diego City College while active duty. Though I struggled because it's been 20 years since I've had any math, I passed. And it was a good indicator that I was ready to move on to the next chapter of my life. So what did I do? I got out on Veterans Day of 2022, enrolled and started school full-time literally 2 months later because my life didn't end just because I medically retired from service. Moving on to the next math class, and then the next, and then the next, and then 2 years later, here we are taking calculus, doing well, made the dean's list, and a 4.0 GPA. All because of my ability to be able to choose to take a math refresher course that absolutely helped prepare me for these harder math classes. Imagine I got out a year or two later, and then having just to take calculus as a gauge of whether I'm ready to move on, right? Imagine having to recall math from decades ago. Did I mention that in my senior year of high school, I took the math class I took was senior consumer math? Though
Just
I
in
would
case
argue,
timing is coming up, please.
though unnecessary math, tell me how that would be beneficial for preparing me for the beast that is calculus. Oh, my school has free tutors, some embedded in class. Great, I've been to them for help. Went back to my professors for office hours. Oh, what the tutor told me was dead wrong. Oh, and to be a paid tutor in the district, you only need a B, which is a good grade. Don't get me wrong, but what if I have an A? So now I'm getting the wrong advice from a tutor who I'm doing better than. Now I'm not trying to insult the intelligence of any tutor, but I'm just
for your
emphasizing the quality of
comments. Your
resources
time
that are
is up.
available to our students. Um,
No.
Next, we have Paul Medina. You have control of your mic and can address the board.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, Paul.
Awesome. Well, good afternoon, President Costa, newly elected President Aguinaldo, Chancellor Christian, Chancellor Office staff, Board of Governor members, and esteemed staff. This is Paul Medina, a student at Compton College and East Los Angeles College. I'm here speaking for a few reasons. First, I want to congratulate President Hildegard Aguinaldo and Vice President Bill Rawlings on their unanimous election to lead the California Community College's Board of Governors. Having had the privilege of serving alongside these remarkable leaders, I can personally attest to their unwavering commitment to students and their passion for advancing education to create a more equitable and inclusive world. Their dedication is matched only by their kindness and compassion. They truly have hearts of gold. I also want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Amy Costa for her exceptional leadership during her term as president. When I joined the Board of Governors, I've served my first month under Pam Haynes' leadership, followed by the remainder of my term under President Costa. During President Costa's presidency, I saw her lead with vision and resilience, achieving historic milestones, including the selection of Dr. Sonia Christian as the first woman, an immigrant, to lead the California Community College system, and the passage of Vision 2030, a transformative plan to guide the system's future. Although several months have passed since my term ended, I continue to reflect on my time with the board and marvel at the incredible work y'all do. With Thanksgiving around the corner, I know one thing I'll be very deeply grateful for at the dinner table, and that is the privilege of having served alongside such esteemed and inspiring leaders. To the Board of Governor members, Chancellor Christian, and the incredible staff, I miss y'all. Good luck. I'm rooting hard for y'all.
Thanks,
And-
Paul. So nice.
Our last speaker is Omar Zavala. You have control of your mic and can address the board.
Hello, Omar Zavala from Mount SAC. So, yeah, there's a bunch of great things at my school, but I want to share a look at what's happening on the ground that affects students like me. So, police are taking pictures of our cars in our parking lot at the school. They're using a technology called an automatic license plate reader that really isn't needed. We had tags before, and is also operating in an invasive way, which it doesn't have to. They have access to our security cameras. These are modern cameras just installed all over new buildings. They rotate. They could see which classes we're going into, who we're speaking to. They can watch protesters. There's really questions on just on our rights or our rights to speech and under the First Amendment. There is no independent body that that makes the police request a warrant. They just get access to everything. It's like a warrant has never been heard of. There's also problems with use of unsupported tech. So I've seen tech that's not approved by our schools being used by staff in all different branches of the school, and they're putting students' personal data into that information. With apps like Canvas, most students have some of these apps on 24/7 that and they could capture data. A lot of their privacy policies are questionable. Like you should really take a look at Canvas's California privacy policy. That's separate from their regular privacy policy. I talked about how our data transfers out of state and we could lose California rights earlier. All uses of technology should start with students' rights, including privacy at the basis. We should be using things like public key or asymmetric cryptography to keep corporations, other people out of the loop. When I want to talk to my professor, I should be able to talk to my professor without a corporation recording. We are being forced into legal agreements with third-party applications, third-party service providers. Like true equity would be us having legal representation to fight back when there's violations of our rights and overreaches. Instead, we're just being forced into these legal agreements. We need alternatives. We need to embrace open technology with student control of all of our data.
Thank you for your comment, Omar. Your time is up. Do you like to wrap it up? Anything else? All right. With that, I don't see any other hands raised.
The president-elect would like to address us.
Thank you very much. Just a few remarks. Today, we'd like to take a moment to recognize the tenure and commitment of President Emerita Amy Costa. She served as president since 2022, and prior to that, held the position of vice president. Her time on the board began with her appointment in 2018, and since then, she's been a consistent champion for our students and deeply dedicated to fostering inclusive opportunities for all learners. The last 2 years have been an exciting time for the California community colleges, and President Costa led the way seamlessly. She oversaw the process as we selected and welcomed a new chancellor in Sonia Christian, and she played a pivotal role in the collaboration and adoption of our new strategic plan, Vision 2030. This plan, as you know, calls for action with equity and includes innovative and promising strategies to help meet the needs of today's students and California's future learners. A plan that, as was reported earlier in this meeting, is already making progress towards its bold goals. While her time as the leader of this board may be coming to an end, her work on this board and her dedication to higher education and creating a system that works for all students will continue. We look forward to our collaboration as board members to advance equity and student success across our system. Personally speaking, it has been invigorating to work so closely with Amy. One of the many things I've learned about her is that calling her a public member is quite a misnomer. She is a policy surgeon. With laser focus, she diagnoses an issue and works hard to ensure that it's addressed, using the whole of her lived and professional experience to ensure that we are doing right by our students. She meets and exceeds the incredibly high standards she sets for herself in the face of high, multidimensional rigor and inspires others to meet her there. And particularly close to my heart, as a working mom, she exemplifies the sense of balance, the ease that Chancellor Christian mentioned, the humor, tenacity that would frankly be beyond the reach of normal folks, except that she reaches out a hand and doesn't hesitate to help you up. I will never forget one piece of advice she gave me. "It's good to be a swan," she said. "Be graceful on the top and paddle like hell on the bottom." And it's a saying that she learned from one of her own mentors. She holds them all in such high regard, and they should all be so proud. And if Pam is any indication, there is both correlation and causation between leaving this post and becoming more fluent in French. While she may be passing the gavel, she may really need to pass the power glasses. And while she may think that she may be needed less, let's just say, I hope she keeps her phone on. Thank you, Amy, for your ongoing legacy in public service and for leaving the indelible impression on all of us, for going all in together. And at this time, I invite Pam Haynes to make a few comments.
Thank you. So, Amy was, I lost my notes. Hold on a second. Where are you, Amy? I deserve that. Okay. All right. Amy was vice president when I was president of the board. This coincided with a unique time for the system and the world we live in as we were coming out of COVID-19 pandemic and trying to navigate our new normal. The Board of Governors worked as a team to ensure a smooth transition for everyone as we navigated the challenges of the pandemic's aftermath. I also like to point out that when we were elected president and VP, it was the first time 2 women served in this role at the same time. Amy's commitment to this board has never wavered. She's been a fierce leader, a supporter for California community colleges. She's been involved in numerous innovative policies, including the Associate Degree for Transfer, the Student-Centered Funding Formula, expansion of the Baccalaureate Degree for Transfer program, just to name a few. Having worked at the Department of Finance, she's been a great advisor to the Chancellor and her team on working with administration and the legislature. Amy, I want to welcome you to the board of past presidents for the Board of Governors. It's a good place to be. Welcome.
And don't leave so quickly. We have a fancy gold watch for you. Yeah. So we'll take a board photo afterwards.
Well, it would come as no ado to you that the hour is 4:33. 45 minutes early than what was on schedule. So what a fitting way to end my term. So I want to thank everyone, but the hour of 4:33 having arrived, I am pleased to announce that the business of the Board of Governors is complete. Right after Pam says something.
I'm so sorry. I just want to make note of this. I've been asked to say a few words at 5 o'clock, so thank you for getting us out early. On behalf of Ken Brown, and if you don't know Ken, he passed away a couple of years ago. Was once a president, trustee at El Camino Community College. He died unexpectedly. The board is considering naming their boardroom in his honor. And having known Ken, there's nobody that it should be. It should be. I mean, it's natural. And so I just wanted to say that. He's sorely missed, and I'm just honored that they asked me to say a few words. Anyway.
Thanks, Pam. I appreciate that. But with that, this is the last gavel. We're adjourned. Thank you.